This week on the Retirement Quick Tips podcast, I'm interviewing my good friend and mom of 9, Karrie, on her tips and tricks for saving money on groceries. Here is today's interview segment with Karrie. Well, the first question and where I'd like to start is with some averages and numbers. So retirees spend an average of about $7,500 annually on food. So that's about $625 a month. And that actually includes both groceries and eating out. So regardless of your household and your stage of life, food is generally like a top 5 expense when you look at how it ranks with your other bills. So this week, I want to talk about how to save money on groceries. And I'm here with my good friend, Karrie. Karrie is a mother of 9, but your oldest has moved out.
Yes.
So he's in college now. Even with him moved out of the house, you have a household of 10. So I'd love to start with, when you hear that number of $7,500 a year that somebody spends on food, what do you spend?
So we talked about this a little bit earlier, and my number was closer to like maybe $1,200 a month.
That's what you thought.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Roughly. But I was talking with my husband, Tony, this evening, and he's like, no, that can't be
That's
right.
way off.
Yeah, there's no way. And I'm like, well, what do you think it is? He's like, you spend $800 a month, just yourself. And then that doesn't count what I spend because I buy stuff too. I go to Costco, and he does the majority of the Costco shopping because I hate Costco. But his number is probably closer to $2,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually probably somewhere in between, because I think there's some months where we spend a lot less, some months we spend more. But what I can say for certain is we rarely eat out.
So the $2,000 a month, that's about what I would have expected if you were being cost conscious, because you could certainly spend a lot more on that if you were buying like a lot of produce and organic and like grass-fed beef. I mean, you could do that in like 1 week for your size household.
Yes.
So let's back up a little bit. So you guys split the grocery shopping, but you do most of the grocery shopping, and he mostly does Costco and then a few other trips here and there. Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Are you specifically budgeting, like, this is how much we're trying to spend this week or this month on groceries, or you have always kind of like a target in mind? When you're at the store, are you thinking about what this particular trip is going to cost? Or I guess, how do you connect the dots between like what you're trying to spend on groceries and what you're actually spending on groceries?
I do my grocery shopping in cash. So I get my money out like every 2 weeks. So I have like $400 I spend on groceries in 2 weeks' time. And so that's what I have. Like, that's what I have to make work. So that prevents me from going over, because once that's gone, it's gone. Tony kind of works in a different way. He pretty much charges everything. So when he goes to the store, it just depends on what I send him for. And then like our Costco trips are pretty routine. We pretty much get the same stuff every time. So there's not a lot of wiggle room in how much I spend, because I keep it to that amount. But his is a lot more flexible.
How long have you been using the cash system for buying groceries?
Years.
Before you had kids even? Or was that something?
Yeah, I think it was. Or at least it was early on. I mean, we've had kids for 20 years now, so.
Was that something that you decided together, or was Tony like, you gotta just spend cash?
Trying to rein me in. No, it was something we decided together, I think. And then, it slowly increased over time, and for the number of children born, it helped keep me on track.
How much do you think your weekly grocery bill would be if you didn't have that cash to kind of keep you in? Like, do you think it makes a meaningful difference where if you weren't using cash, you'd spend maybe a few $100s more a month?
Yeah, no, it absolutely does. Because I get to the point, or I get close to my, my money running out, and I'm like, okay, well, whatever we need is going to have to wait until the next payday. And that's
peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Exactly.
Between now and then.
Yeah. So yeah, it definitely helps me stay on track.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Because I know that's one of the popular budgeting pieces of advice where you could do it for everything, but you have like the envelope system where this is how much I'm going to spend on clothing and shoes, and this is how much I'm going to spend on groceries and household goods. And it's like once it's gone, it's gone. And it kind of forces you to spend within that budget. But also, there's that visual of seeing pulling the cash out of your wallet and the pain with handing that over.
And seeing how much is left.
Yeah.
It's not much. And we don't do that whole envelope system with everything. It's mainly just cash for food and, whatever I need during the week. But I've been doing this for so long that it's just second nature now. But I do think that now with online banking and apps and all that, it's so much easier. If I were to try to keep track of it that way, I could probably do okay, but I'm just creature of habit now.
Yeah. And you like it. It works for you. Yeah. If someone was talking to you about this very subject and being like, how on earth do you feed your family within that budget? Is that like the number one thing that you think, like, what would you tell somebody who is struggling with like higher prices at the grocery store and like, how do I save money? Would you tell them to do that? Like, do you think that would work for a lot of people? Because I know it works for a lot of people, but would that be a tip that you would give them, or would you start somewhere else?
I think I would start with doing, several months of looking at what exactly you spend to see what would be reasonable. I think that the cash system is definitely something that anyone could do, but it might take you a while to get to that place where you can determine what is the number for you. So I think it would take a few months to get there, but I definitely think that anyone can do it.